Hey guys, how are you? Oh my goodness. So today we're going to talk about mindsets, right? So super important because are you playing small in your business? Do you find that there are times when you're doing what you're supposed to do, but as you are trying to talk about the business or the product, something is holding you back. You are not stepping out to get that sale, to make the connections, right? To be authentic and be genuine and crush it each day. So today I'm going to come and share with you this amazing thing about mindset and how we can actually help ourselves to grow our business just by simply tweaking the way we are thinking on a day-to-day basis, okay? So for those of you who are watching a live video right now, go ahead and say hi. Let me know where you're joining in from. I would love to go ahead and just say hi to you on this live video. And if you're watching the replay, don't forget to go ahead and put hashtag replay down below or smash that heart button so I can come back and give you some love. All right? Awesome. So let's go ahead and jump on in. So if you are brand new to my page, welcome to this page. My name is Kathion Sontag, and I help network marketers and entrepreneurs build an amazing business using powerful online strategies such as branding you, attraction marketing, video marketing, and so much more, so you can actually have people coming to you to build an amazing business while creating that lifestyle you love. All right. So I was talking to my child the other day, and this topic came about because I realized that as I was speaking to her, she was just nodding yes, and then my little 2-year-old, when I would tell her not to do certain things, I start to realize that she is doing certain things because she wants to get my approval, right? So, quick question, right? So think about this for a minute. Are you holding yourself back right now in your business, right? Are you holding yourself back in general in life, right? Are you playing the small game in your business? Right? So chances are you are, right? Because as little girls, we are actually programmed to think certain ways. We're actually programmed with the initial thoughts of whether certain things are acceptable to be said, right? We are being told to be quiet, to hush, to not do certain things, to not show any type of emotions as little girl, to just basically fall into line and conform. And then we bring that into our adulthood, right? So now in our adulthood, we're actually thinking like, okay, here I am as an entrepreneur, letting people know about the benefits of being in this business or even the product itself. But there's something holding me back because now I have that thought in my adulthood where I am thinking, okay, should I be saying certain things right now, right? And when someone is speaking and we have something to say, we don't express it. We keep our mouth closed and we listen, right? And although we want to go ahead and say what it is, we don't want to basically hurt anyone's feelings, so we are quiet about it. We hush ourselves up, and it's simply because when we were taught that way as children, now we're thinking that it's an okay thing to do right now. All right, so let's go ahead and and before I even continue as well, right? So think about this for a minute, right? Maybe you're at a point in your journey right now where you're holding yourself back because maybe you're actually, as I mentioned before, being quiet, not speaking up, feeling that you have to bite your tongue. Or maybe you actually are saying to yourself that you need to sit still instead of jumping into action or leaping into action. Or maybe you are given the message that you are saying too much, that maybe you are too big, you are too loud, or maybe you're being told that you're just too much. So you're literally trying to pull yourself back, to just brace yourself, to stop yourself from jumping out there, right? Or maybe you're procrastinating and you're just overwhelmed a lot. Does that sound like this falls within you? That, okay, maybe I am playing it small because these things, if you can answer yes to any of these things, then it's just being aware of the fact that I am playing it small because I do fall into one of those categories or all of those categories, right? If you are, we're just being real today, okay? So let's be authentic. Go ahead and let me know down below. Say, yeah, that's me. I know that I used to fall in a lot of these categories, and I still fall in a few of these as well, right? So I have to, when I'm teaching my children, I have to realize that this is me too, right? And I need to go ahead and be aware of it so I can actually start doing better, being better, right? So maybe you're actually late for a meeting, right? Or maybe you're late for everything, right? Does that sound like that might be a little bit of you? Maybe you're actually having drama in your life, right? And you're constantly getting distracted, you're making excuses, you have a lot of doubts, right? And you have this fear of failure, you have this fear of success, you have this fear of rejection, this fear of not being accepted, right? That fear that's constantly there. Now maybe you're telling yourself also that that you don't want to do certain things, right? You don't want to be this person, to be them, whoever they are, right? Like you need to go ahead and be in this situation because you do not want to be them. You don't want to be the type of person, right? Now, when you think about that for a moment, right, these are the programmings that we actually create, right? That drags us, that put us into that state of being in our business and disrupt our business aspect from us growing because we are constantly thinking all of those things within our minds, right? So maybe you are just incredibly concerned about what other people are thinking about you or what they are saying about you, right? Maybe you want so badly to be liked by those people that you are just stifling yourself, right? Now, don't beat yourself up about it, but think about that for a moment, okay? Think about it. Are you actually playing that small game because you fall into those categories, okay? So playing it small as women simply means that we are basically programmed by our culture to say certain things, to do certain things, to act a certain way, right? And we have to go ahead and put ourselves into that structure, into that model of what is considered the norm in society. And being outside of that norm is, for some people, they're thinking it's the most horrible thing to be, right? It's basically a taboo type of thing to not be within that structure. Now, as you go ahead and think about that, there is people that is actually playing it too small, playing it, of course, big, which you're supposed to, and then there are the extremists. Of course, if you're playing it small, you are nowhere there right now. So you need to go ahead and just not be constantly worried about how people are going to think about you, what they're going to be saying about you. Just when you're doing your business in life as a whole, we need to go ahead and remember that our big picture here is to be successful, right? Now, think about if that is you. If that's you, drop me an emoji below, like a shock face emoji, like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that was me, and I'm a procrastinator, And I need to go ahead and start playing it big and scheduling my contents out if I need to in order to show up consistently for my team, on my page, right? To start playing that big, right? So think about if you're playing it small at this point, right? Now, you might be thinking that, well, I'm playing it small because I don't want to be that pushy salesperson, right? I don't want to be the type of person that repels people, right? But think about this for a moment. That's not you. If it's constantly in the back of your mind and your subconscious where you are thinking, I don't want to be that person, that pushy salesperson, so I'm not going to go ahead and just do that, well, you don't have to worry about that because that's not you, and you would never be that person. Okay? So even if you were to go ahead and double your actions right now by leaping into action and double it, triple it, quadruple it, when you go and put content out there and speak to your people about it, you are not going to be that pushy salesperson because that's just not who you are at your core. Okay? So even if you were to go ahead and just think for a minute that, okay, this is holding me back and you don't want to be held back any further, right? So at your core, you're not that person. You need to go ahead and figure out how I can go ahead and put these things out there to get people without turning them off, because that was one of my biggest fear. I don't want to be that pushy salesperson. I'm not a salesperson, and I don't want to repel people because when people repel me, I'm just turned off, right? So if that's you too, there's an act, you have to be tactful about it in speaking to people about certain things in certain ways when a situation is called for, right? It's experiencing the experiences we had as a child where we were being programmed in a way in which we were being manipulated, controlled, we were being pressured into this model, into this structure of what is acceptable. And as children do certain things because they crave attention, because they want to be loved, right? And that's what we did when we did as a child as well. But now that we are adults, we need to be more aware of how we are operating, right? So all little ones desperately need that attention. They desperately need that love. So as mummies too, we need to be aware that we are not stifling our children, that they're going to do what they were born to do, that we're not going to stifle their voice. We want them to be opinionated. However, we're going to teach them to be tactful about it. There's certain ways to express yourself. Say what you have to say, but you can say it in a nicer manner. Say what you have to say, but get to the point and let it come across where it's not hurting anyone's feelings. I had a video the other day about when I was in HR, human resources, when I had to do coaching and stuff like that. I did a method where it was called a sandwich. Like you have a sandwich where it's like, let's say a cheese sandwich. You have a bread, cheese in the middle, and then a bread, and you do it that way. So what I would do is I would start with a compliment, and then I would give them the negative, telling them that you did great. However, this needs to be improved, and then I end it with, but you are doing awesome. So go out there and crush it, continue to support and do what you have to do, right? So it's the same thing we teach our kids. Do that sandwich as well so that we're building them up. And we have to think about that for ourselves too, right? Like I want to think about that for myself. Like, yeah, I want to feel appreciated. Yes, I want that constructive criticism to build me up. But I don't want to be constantly being criticized. You want to go ahead and end that on a positive note as well, okay? So there was this Forbes magazine article that talks about basically these two indicators that ultimately decides whether a person is going to be successful as an entrepreneur or not, right? And these two indicators simply states that if you fall within this, this is going to tell you whether or not you're going to be successful as an entrepreneur. So the first indicator, the first thing is basically thinking that Forbes says, the first question is, do you have a bias towards action, right? Now, when we think about bias towards action, what that basically means is like, do you move into action? Do you leap into action? Is your first thought the thought of, I'm going to get this done? Like, oh my goodness, that's awesome. Let me go out there and do it, right? You jump right in, right? So when there's a situation that occurs, think about yourself. When something arises, are you that person that just jumps in and get it done and complete your task, right? Is that you, right? So entrepreneurs have a bias towards action, right? They choose to move, they choose to act, they choose to do. That is an entrepreneur right there. Is that you, right? Compared to the general public, where most people in general they tend to not. They tend to hesitate. They tend to think about it. They tend to tiptoe around moving into action and getting it done, right? So we just need to think, like, is that us? Do we have that bias towards action like an entrepreneur mindset where they have it? They don't hesitate. They don't hold themselves back, you know. They don't wait, sit, and evaluate the situation. You know, they're like, this is going to help me. I need to go ahead and get on this and do it right now so I can start getting success in my business immediately. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, is that you? Do you jump into action, right? So if you're holding yourself back, of course you can see how you're actually going to struggle and see a little strife in your business, right? And as entrepreneurs, that's not what we want. We want to go ahead and grow and become top earners and do the things we need to do, right? So the second thing we need to think about is that second indicator that the Forbes magazine article discuss is another key component. That second thing is, not only do we need to go ahead and be biased towards action, but we need to go ahead and have the willingness to take that risk, right? Are we a risk taker? Do we take that risk? Do we go ahead and say, you know what? It might not work out, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a try, right? What do I have to lose, you know? If it doesn't work out today, I can go ahead and change it up tomorrow, right? I think it was Jessica Higdon that once said that, you know, that's okay. We can try something for like an hour. We can try it for a day. We can try it for a week, you know, but don't worry about it because you have the next day to change it up if today doesn't work. You have next week to change it up if this week didn't work. You know, it's all about trying something to see what's going to work for you, right? And whether or not it's the right thing for you and your business. So that's the second thing. Are you a risk taker, right? So in other words, you're going to be willing to try different things, to be uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to accept and say, okay, you know, I'm uncertain of this. I'm anxious about it, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Forbes magazine says, that article says, if you're not willing to take that risk, then chances are you won't be successful as an entrepreneur because entrepreneurs are risk takers. Whether it is the brick and mortar type of business or if it is the online type of business or network marketing or any other business out there, you have to be a risk taker, guys, right? So when I thought about that too, I was like, oh, am I being a risk taker? Like most situations, I was not, you know, and that's why I was struggling all those years in my business because I was just like, I was not biased towards action as well. I was not a risk taker, right? And now I have become that. And now my business is progressing because that is me, right? And you have to think about that too, right? Is that you? I have my little one right here. She's becoming fussy. She's becoming super, super fussy with her little lion. Okay, right? So that's something that we need to think about. Think about these things as Forbes magazine is putting it out there that if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur, then you have to do those things that are going to make you uncomfortable, right? I have to go ahead and be comfortable being uncomfortable because everything in life that is worth it is not going to be easy, right? Success isn't going to happen overnight. We have to be consistent. We have to do that pavement. We have to let our head know, our mind know, change our mindset. And we can reverse our mindset from playing it small and start playing it big, right? We can do that, but it all starts with, but it all starts with first being aware that we are doing that so that we can go ahead and do what we have to do. All right. So when you think about this for a minute, it is so simple to go ahead and just change our mindsets. I know when I was in human resources, I was raised the same way as well. So when I was getting my MBA in HR management, and I had to do all these different things like public speaking and training and coaching and everything, jack of all trades for HR, I was just like, oh my goodness, like I cannot do this. The fear of failure was crippling me. I had to change my mindset at that point where I'm just like, why am I afraid? Like, these are regular people just like I am. I'm going to go out there and train them on how to do what they're supposed to do for the company. I am going to be that authoritative figure, to be real. And I know you might be thinking that when you start changing your mindset to start thinking about things differently, like playing it big and telling yourself, you know, to 1, 2, 3 and just do it, that you might be thinking, well, this is not real me. This is not me being authentic, me being real. But it is you. It's the you that you were born to be. The only difference is that as we were growing up, because we were being programmed a certain way as a child, we had this mindset where we are telling ourselves that we need to go ahead and not say certain things, not do certain things. And that is crippling us, guys. It is crippling our business. It is causing us to not grow in our business. It is causing us to lose out on amazing team members. You know, I was thinking about so many awesome entrepreneurs out there that I missed to join my business a lot sooner rather than later. Yes, I'm glad that I was able to step out of my comfort zone and be like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to this person about it. Be tactful, of course, but letting the person know that, hey, I think this could be a great fit for you and so forth, right? It's just changing our mindsets because we're caught up in the state of, the system isn't working. But sometimes it's not the system, guys. Sometimes it's the mind. It's our mindset. That's what's holding us back. So drop an emoji if you feel like this resonates with you, right? If you're like, yes, my mindset was at that point where it was like, I don't know if I can do this. I cannot go out there. I was like that too. I cannot go out there and hound the pavement and be bugging people and be salesy, right? That wasn't me. But you know what? I found a different way to help people without being that pushy person, right? And if you want to go ahead and learn what that method is as well, to have people coming to you so you don't have to be that pushy person. Now, what I do within my team is that I not just train them how to be effective recruiting online, which my team is crushing at this point right now, you know, learning the online method. But first, they have to learn how to do it the traditional way as well. And the thing that I love is that there's a way to go ahead. Like with my company, we have this amazing system that they're able to be plugged into that has changed. It's actually revamped, right? And by doing that, when they get to a certain point, I'm like, awesome. You know, here are the training that I'm going to help you with one-on-one so you can crush this online thing and start being the leader that you are meant to be, right? And while we're doing that as well, learning the technical skills on social media to go ahead and blow up by being a top earner on social media, you know, and just doing it. What we also do is focus on our mindsets, right? We want to break free. We want to crush. We want to knock down that wall and tell ourselves that we can do this, right? Like there's nothing stopping us. There's nothing stopping us except ourselves and our minds, okay? So if you want to go ahead and learn a little bit more about mindset and a little bit more itself on just the technical aspects of having prospects reach out to you, let me know. Shoot me a DM, you know? And I hope that you got value from this video, that this was super, super helpful to you. If it has, smash that heart button to let me know, okay? So it was so awesome seeing you guys on this live video. And Kyla and I, it has been a blast being here with you. So we will see you guys on the next live, okay? Take care. Bye.